Hey everyone, welcome back to our journey through history. A long time ago, in the middle of Africa, there was a really strong kingdom called Congo. This kingdom wasn't just any ordinary place, it was a hub of culture, power and influence. It was where Angola, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Republic of Congo and Gabon are today. Imagine a vast area filled with diverse landscapes and rich resources. Think lots of rivers and forests. These natural features were crucial for the kingdom's development, providing water, food and transportation routes. The people there were great farmers and traders. They cultivated the land with skill and traded goods far and wide, making Congo a bustling center of commerce. They built a super powerful and rich kingdom that lasted for hundreds of years. The architecture and infrastructure they developed were ahead of their time. Congo was a big deal, like everyone around knew them and they had a lot of power. Their influence extended beyond their borders, impacting neighboring regions. Their story shows us how amazing African societies were before colonialism. They had complex social structures, rich traditions and advanced knowledge in various fields. Congo was in a perfect spot, controlling important trade routes that went from Central Africa all the way to the coast. This strategic location allowed them to thrive economically. Traders from everywhere came to Congo to swap goods. The markets were vibrant, filled with a variety of products and people from different cultures. It's a story of big wins and also really sad times. A kingdom that grew to be super important but also had to fight against colonialism. The resilience and strength of the Congo people are truly inspiring. The leaders of Congo were not just rulers. They were visionaries who guided their people through both prosperity and adversity. Their legacy continues to be remembered and celebrated today. Even today, the cultural heritage of the Congo Kingdom lives on in the traditions and festivals of the people in Central Africa. It's a testament to the enduring spirit of this great kingdom. So, Congo started around the late 1300s. A strong leader named Lukini Luanimi brought a bunch of smaller groups together to form the kingdom. He made his capital city at Mbanza, Congo, which became a busy center for trade and culture. The people of Congo spoke Bantu languages and shared similar customs. They were awesome farmers and metal workers and made beautiful crafts. The kingdom grew quickly under Lukini and the kings that came after him. They got more land by winning battles and making friends with other groups. They created a strong government that helped everyone live well and feel safe. The early kings knew trade was important. They traded with their neighbors and even people across the ocean. This brought them money and new ideas. Congo was really organized. The leader was called the Manikongo, which means King of Congo. The Manikongo was the big boss, but he had advisors to help him and governors to run different parts of the kingdom. Congolese society had different levels. At the top were the nobles, important people in the government and army. Then came the commoners, mostly farmers and craftspeople. Sadly, at the bottom were slaves. Slavery was a part of life in Congo, just like in many other places back then. The people of Congo were very religious. They believed in a main god and also honored their ancestors. They believed their ancestors could still affect things happening in the world. Congo had tons of natural resources. The land was great for farming. They grew lots of different foods like millet, sorghum and yams. They also had cows, goats and sheep. Besides farming, they were skilled metal workers. They mined iron and copper to make tools, weapons and beautiful jewelry. They were famous for their copper crosses, which were super popular in Europe. Trade was huge in Congo. They traded their crops, metal stuff and ivory with other African kingdoms and even with Arab traders across the Indian Ocean. These traders brought cool things from faraway places like China and India. All this trade made Congo a rich place with a cool culture. They had great music, dancing and storytelling, and were also talented weavers and potters. In 1483, things changed big time for Congo. The Kingdom of Congo, a powerful and sophisticated African state, was about to encounter a new world beyond its borders. Portuguese explorers led by Diogo Cao sailed up the Congo River. These explorers were on a mission to find new lands and establish trade routes. This was the start of regular contact between Congo and Europe. The arrival of the Portuguese marked the beginning of a new era of interaction and exchange. The Portuguese wanted to trade and spread Christianity. They brought with them not only goods, but also new ideas and beliefs. King Nzinga Nkuwu, the king of Congo, was curious about these newcomers. He saw an opportunity to expand his kingdom's knowledge and influence. He saw a chance to learn more about the world and make new friends. The king was intrigued by the potential benefits of this new relationship. The Portuguese brought cool stuff like guns, horses, and other things. They also brought Christianity. These new items and ideas fascinated the people of Congo. King Nzinga Nkuwu let Christian missionaries into Congo and even became a Christian himself in 1491, changing his name to João I. This marked a significant shift in the kingdom's religious landscape. The Portuguese changed Congo a lot. Their influence was felt in many aspects of Congo's society, from trade to religion. They brought new ideas and technology, but also started a long and complicated relationship between Congo and Europe. This relationship would have lasting impacts on both sides, shaping the future of the region for centuries to come. João I's son, Afonso I, became king in 1509. He was a visionary leader who sought to transform his kingdom in many ways. Afonso was a serious Christian and wanted Congo to be a Christian kingdom too. His faith was not just personal, it was a cornerstone of his policy and vision for Congo. He sent young Congolese men to study in Europe and invited European artists and teachers to Congo. This exchange of knowledge and culture was unprecedented and aimed at modernizing his kingdom. Christianity became really popular under Afonso. The people embraced the new religion and it began to influence many aspects of daily life and governance. They built churches and schools and even translated the Bible into the Congolese language. This was a monumental task that helped integrate Christian teachings into the local culture. Afonso's time as king is often called Congo's Golden Age, when it was at its strongest. The kingdom flourished economically, culturally, and spiritually. But Afonso's relationship with the Portuguese wasn't always perfect. Despite their initial cooperation, tensions began to rise over various issues. He worried about the growing slave trade. The increasing demand for slaves by the Portuguese posed a significant threat to the stability and moral fabric of his kingdom. The Portuguese wanted slaves for their farms in the Americas, and Afonso was afraid this would ruin his kingdom. He foresaw the devastating impact this could have on his people and society. He tried to make rules about the slave trade, wanting only criminals and prisoners of war to be sold. Afonso hoped these regulations would limit the damage and protect his subjects. But Portuguese traders often ignored the rules and bought slaves from anyone. This disregard for his laws led to increased tension and conflict, undermining Afonso's efforts to maintain control and order. Even though Afonso tried, the slave trade was terrible for Congo. The kingdom was torn apart by fighting and civil wars. Different groups fought to control the slave trade, and the Mani-Congo's power got weaker. The Portuguese took advantage of the mess. They supported different people who wanted to be king and made the different groups fight each other. They wanted to weaken Congo and take over the slave trade. In 1665, Congo lost a big battle at Mbwila. King Antonio I died and Congo fell apart into smaller, weaker states. The slave trade hurt Congo for centuries. It killed lots of people, ruined the economy, and destroyed their society. It was a horrible thing and a big reason why Congo declined. Even with all the problems, Congo didn't completely disappear. Even after the Battle of Mbwila, Congolese kings still ruled in some areas. The capital city, Mbanza, Congo, remained an important place for religion and culture. The memory of Congo stayed alive with the people. They kept their traditions, told their stories, and fought against being controlled by outsiders. Congolese people were spread all over the Atlantic by the slave trade, taking their culture to the Americas. They had a big impact on the cultures of Brazil, Cuba, and other countries. Congo reminds us how rich and interesting Africa was before colonialism. It's a story of a kingdom that did amazing things, but also a warning about how bad the slave trade and European colonialism were. Congo's story is sad in many ways. It's about losing freedom and the horrors of slavery. But it's also about never giving up. The people of Congo always had hope and remembered their past. They found ways to keep their culture alive, even when things were really bad. They adapted to new places, made new communities, but never forgot where they came from. Congo's story is important today. It reminds us to learn from history and how dangerous greed and taking advantage of others can be. It also shows us how strong people can be. Congo might be gone, but its story is still inspiring. It's a story we should remember and learn from. It can teach us a lot about ourselves and the world.